Hey there, Emily Reeves here on the Peak Auto YouTube channel, checking in for episode 4 of State of the Build. I am so excited for this episode, you guys. I got my buddy Mitch Stapleton. He is not your average race car builder. The dude built a monster, and by monster I mean like really heavy but really fast. I'm going to check in with him and learn the history on his LSXCALADE and learn what his plan is for the future of that 6,000-pound race truck. What's up, Mitchell? I am real stoked to hear the history on the LSXCALADE. I know that we just returned home a couple months ago from Rocky Mountain Race Week, where you actually achieved a personal best. Huge congrats on that. I will never forget that high five whenever we had discussed that you were going for it on the last day. And then afterwards you did it. That was the best high five ever, dude. So I'm really excited to introduce this build to our series here on the Peak channel. I want you to start from the top with the Escalade. When did you end up with it? And when did you get the wild hair to make it fast?
Well, Emily, you're right. It is a lot of fun whenever you set out to do something very specific with intent and you make it happen. It feels really good afterwards, and that race week was the most fun I ever had with this thing. But it took a long time to get there. To circle back to what you said at the very beginning, ever since I was a little kid, I've liked two things: Suburbans and NASCAR stuff. I just like racing. I like making things go faster. I would take an RC car that was not supposed to be fast, and I would find some motor that fit in there for something else, and I'd put it in there, and I'd make it go so fast that the tires exploded because they were not designed to go that fast. Like, I was doodling pictures of my dad's Suburban. He had a 95 that I really liked it. It's my favorite thing ever. And then when I was like 7, he traded it in for that red one right there, which I actually just bought back from my uncle. That's the next build. That's gonna be a single turbo deal. And I got a 93 Suburban in the pipeline too. That's gonna be a tribute to my dad's original 95. And I got this one picture. It shows a Suburban, a Camaro, and a Corvette going across the finish line with the Suburban edging out the other two and a Mustang crashing in the background. I can't make this up. Yeah, so I found that picture and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I drew a Suburban beating a Camaro and a Corvette, and now I race a Suburban and it beats up on Camaros and Corvettes all the time. And as we all know from meme land, Mustangs like to spin out and crash into things. It's pretty funny. I started driving this in 2014 when I started college. My dad bought it for work and I was supposed to use it to go to class, and he said, don't mod it, it still has a warranty. I was 19 or 18, you know, my frontal lobe or whatever was not fully developed yet, so I was like, oh, well, I'm not gonna listen to that. So I got it tuned and did, you know, that stuff without telling him, because he's not mechanically inclined enough to notice that, and I got away with it. And it got to be way faster than I thought it was. Like, it was running high 13s with bolt-ons and a converter. And it was just so much fun to go out there and race something that was not supposed to be raced. 2016 rolled around, I put an LSA supercharger on it. I figured if I get it done without him noticing and it worked okay, I drove it for a while, then how could he be mad if I didn't screw it up? Calculated risk, it paid off. We did drag week with some of my friends where it finished with an 11-second average. I really just went to hang out, and it kind of took on a life of its own. You know, when 1320 posted it, like, I was not there to like have it be a thing, but it turned into a thing. About halfway through the week, I was thinking, you know what? I need to do more with this. This thing could do something. And that was when the seed was planted for this current build configuration here.
I mean, I know kids draw funny things, but that is pretty wild, dude. You drew a Suburban beating actual normal fast cars, and here you are beating normal fast cars in your Cadillac Escalade. It's crazy. And your poor father, you're a defiant young man. Tisk tisk. I know you have the bug, and it's hard whenever you're trying to be a good person and save money, but there's car parts and you just want to go fast. I know. My first question would be, you started with the supercharger. What started breaking first on the Escalade when you first modded it? Because I know stuff had to start breaking and you found weak links. Tell us, what did you break first?
I know you're not going to believe this, but when I put the blower on there, it broke nothing. Nothing. Well, traction. It broke traction, it broke hearts, and it broke a converter that was a single disc converter that was not designed for that power anyway. But then I switched it to a better one, never had another problem. It just straight up worked. It worked really well. It was still my daily driver when I had a blower. I put 11,000 miles on it. That's all the longer the blower setup lived. I tore it apart in early 2017 to do this turbo setup, which took me until September of 2018 to finish. I built the headers myself. I'm kind of a self-taught everything. I did all the fab work on this myself, just kind of figured it out, fuddled through it, made the intercooler myself. I wrapped this thing myself, had some friends help me. The only thing on here I didn't do in its current state is the roll cage, because I wasn't about to try to figure that out. With this new setup, I broke a lot of stuff, namely transmissions, broke the rear pinion yoke. The front diff is still stock, the rear end is still stock. It's kind of amazing how that works actually. I really don't know, but yeah.
So you went from running 11s when you first built it with the LSA blower to now running 9s with a twin turbo setup. Was it just the difference in the boost that made you that much faster, or I know you didn't lighten it. Was it bottom end? Did you change the block? How did you push enough power to get that much faster in the Escalade? That's what I want to know.
It was a total whole ground up rebuild of everything. The stock engine is actually gone. It's in my 72 Monte Carlo. The blower and the engine is in that car now. This thing has a Dart Block 427. Twin 76 millimeter turbochargers, got CP Carrillo rods, custom pistons, CP Carrillo pistons, Dart billet crank, extreme automatics, full billet 4L80 straight cut pro mod gears. It's basically a 400 Frankenstein into a 4L80 case. It's a pretty wild deal. It's got Frankenstein heads, cam motion camshaft, MS3 Pro engine management. It's a whole new can of worms. There's nothing left in the drivetrain of the original stuff besides the front diff. The rear axle's not original to this one, but it's stocked from like a two-wheel drive 6-tooth Denali, because fun fact, the two-wheel drive ones got a 14 bolt, all-wheel drive got a 10 bolt. So junkyard tip right there.
Total beef engine setup, dude. That is wild. So I remember a fairly viral dyno experience with this rig. What were the final power numbers? Because weren't they pretty wild?
Final number has not been established yet. But the video you're referring to, it made 1720 at the tire. I think it was 1716 if I remember correctly. It did that on 27 pounds with, like 13 degrees of timing in it. This combination will make 2000 at the tire. And my personal best that I set of 940 to 150, that was done with 24 pounds of boost, and I had no hood. So the aero with that was really hurting my back half. I could see it, because it went 121 in the 8th spinning. This is a 2,000 horsepower capable future 8-second machine for sure, no question. If this engine, turbo, and transmission combination were in like a tube chassis Fox body, it would be a 6-second capable 200-mile-an-hour car. Basically, I stuck a tube chassis race car motor into my daily driver, is what you're looking at here.
Dude, you're crazy. Thank you so much for showing us the LSXCALADE and also giving us some insight into the history of it. 1,700 horsepower is crazy in that thing, and I'm so impressed that you're in the low 9s with all of the factors in that you could be going much faster. And I bet you will. I'm sure that that is in the future for the LSXCALADE, and I am stoked to watch that unfold, as well as all your other builds. We will link Mitchell's channel down in the description if you guys would like to keep up to date on what he's doing. Again, we appreciate your time here making this episode with us, Mitchell, and we'll definitely be keeping tabs on you.
So I hope that gave you a little bit of an intro to my weird story and why I choose to make things hard for myself and build 6,000-pound race cars. If you like that kind of stuff, you should hop on over to my channel, because I'm an idiot and that's all I do. Hopefully we'll see you over there. I'd really like to thank Peak for having myself and Emily on the channel. It's always fun talking to her, doing stuff with her and Aaron, great people. And you meet guys like Cole to help you make brackets for your exhaust, and can't complain about that either. Really hope we can do more stuff with you guys in the future.
Finley loves the LSXCALADE. I hope you guys do too. We are so excited for the great response that we're getting on the Peak Auto YouTube channel for this series. We really appreciate you guys all commenting and telling us what you think and who you want to see on upcoming episodes. We're excited to keep on doing this series and make it even better in 2021. Huge thanks for dropping us a subscription, a like, and of course commenting and telling us what you think. Huge thanks to Mitchell again for being on the show with us. We'll see y'all next time.